Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk going through the motions of another workday. Phones are ringing, emails are pinging. You're just trying to meet deadlines. Now imagine sitting in the same place, same space, but completely unnoticed for 4 days. Not alive, not breathing, yet surrounded by colleagues who go about their days oblivious. Now, this isn't a hypothetical scenario, it's a haunting reality of Denise Prudhomme, a 60-year-old Wells Fargo employee from Tampa, Arizona. Her death, while tragic, opens up a paradox of questions about workplace culture, human connection, and how someone could slip through the cracks so dramatically. Hello there, people of the internet. I'm your host, Mint, and welcome to today's case study. If you like true crime documentaries or conspiracy theory videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as we'll be covering more in the upcoming future. Now, without any further ado, let's dive into today's case. Denise Prudhomme wasn't the name that made the headlines before this incident. By all accounts, she was a private, hardworking individual who had dedicated years to her job at Wells Fargo. Now, she was known for being punctual and diligent, the kind of employee who quietly did her work without drawing much attention to herself. At 60 years old, she was in the later years of her career, someone many would consider as a fixture in office. Born in 1964, Denise grew up in a small Arizona town where she was known for her love of books and her sharp mind. Friends and family recall her as someone who valued kindness and simplicity, preferring meaningful conversations over small talk and quiet evenings over noisy gatherings. She was a deeply private individual, often described as a woman who followed routines. Those who knew her said she found comfort in structure and predictability. Her morning started early, often with a cup of black coffee and a book in her hand before heading to work. At Wells Fargo, she was a loyal employee, having worked there for over 15 years. She specialized in administrative tasks, ensuring that operations ran smoothly behind the scenes. Her coworkers appreciated her attention to details and unwavering reliability. But Denise's life wasn't without challenges. She lived alone and had no immediate family nearby. While she maintained a small circle of close friends, her solitary nature sometimes made it hard for others to truly know her. Now, despite this, she wasn't entirely isolated, don't get me wrong on that. She had a weekly routine of calling her childhood best friends and occasionally attending book club meetings in her community. Yet, in a world that increasingly prioritized virtual connections, Denise's quiet presence often went unnoticed. It all began on Friday, August 16th, 2024. Denise arrived at her work like she always did, scanning into the building at 7 a.m. She settled into her cubicle and started her day, but something went terribly wrong that morning. Sudden cardiac death struck her unexpectedly. According to the medical examiner's office, it was caused by scarring of heart muscles. The details of what happened next are still unclear. Did she collapse at her desk? Did she lean back in her chair as if she was trying to take a break? No one knows for sure. But what we do know is that Denise passed away at her desk. She was unnoticed by everyone around her. 4 days went by. Let that sink in. 4 entire days. During that time, her body remained in her cubicle, decomposing in Arizona heat while colleagues worked just feet away. By Tuesday, August 20th, people in the office began noticing a foul smell. At first, it was dismissed as a plumbing issue. The building had 24/7 security and many employees worked remotely. So it's not surprising that no one checked on Janice immediately. But as the odor got stronger, concerns escalated. That's when someone finally decided to investigate. What they found was nothing short of horrifying. The news of Denise's death sent shockwaves through the office and beyond. How could this happen in a modern workplace? How could no one notice her absence for so long? Wells Fargo released a statement expressing their deepest sadnesses over the incident. They offered condolences to Denise's family and support to her co-workers. But for many, the statement felt hollow. Questions about workplace safety, employee monitoring, and basic human decency began to emerge. Colleagues later admitted that the office's hybrid work environment played a significant role. With many employees working remotely and Denise's quiet demeanor, her absence simply went unnoticed. Denise's stories exemplifies what it means to slip through the cracks. In today's fast paced, hyper digital world, it's a phrase often used to describe situations where individuals are overlooked due to systematic insufficiency, lack of communications, or just basic human neglect. But what does it truly mean, and how often does it happen? The shift towards hybrid and remote work has fundamentally changed the way we interact with colleagues. While these setups offer flexibility, they also reduce face to face interactions, making it harder to notice when someone is missing. In Denise's case, coworkers were accustomed seeing her quiet presence in the office, but with many working remotely, her absence was less apparent. This physical and emotional distance can create a dangerous blind spot where individuals like Denise fade into background. Now, beyond the workplace, society has a decline in genuine human connection. People are busier than ever, often juggling multiple responsibilities and glued to their digital devices. Checking in on friends, family, or even coworkers becomes an afterthought. For Denise, who lived alone and had no immediate family nearby, this disconnection left her particularly vulnerable. Even her close friends who cared about her deeply may not have realized she needed more frequent check ins. The other factor is the bystander effect, where individuals assume someone else will take action. In Denise's office, people noticed the smell but assumed it was maintenance issues rather than investigating it further. This psychological phenomenon is common in group settings, where responsibilities becomes diffused among many. Modern workplace often lacks protocols to address these kinds of situations. Now, should there be a system in place to monitor employee attendance more closely, or should there be wellness checks in particularly for employees who are older or live alone? Denise's death underscores these need for structured systems that ensure no one is left unnoticed. Denise Prudhomme's story is heartbreaking, but it's also an opportunity for change. As we move forward, let's remember her not just as a cautionary tale, but as a reminder the importance of human connection. Reach out to that coworker you haven't seen in a while. Check in on individuals, friends, family, whoever it might be. And if you notice something's off, act on it. Don't dismiss it. Because at the end of the day, no one should feel invisible. Let's make sure Denise's legacy is one of awareness, empathy, and meaningful change. But with that being said, I've been your host, Mint. Till then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.